What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I am playing 1-2 poker at the Sarasota One-Eyed Jacks. This is my first poker vlog, so bear with me as it's a little amateur. But check me out. Give me some feedback on how these plays go. Okay, so here I am. I got ace-2 offsuit, and I've been playing for a little bit. Haven't got anything yet, so I figured let me see what's going on in the pot here. So someone straddles you for $5, and it looks like I get to call for $5, so I'm in there. And let's see that flop. So I will say I don't remember every single flop, but I do remember that this flop had an ace on it, so I led for $10, and I want to see if I can get any callers, see what's going on, and I did get a caller. Now the turn brings in a flush draw, and he does check it over to me, and I decided to check it back. I know I should have raised here, but I just didn't feel strong, so I decided to check it. Now on the river, the flush does not come, so he decides to bet $20 into me, and I do call the $20. And it turns out that my pair of aces are good for my first win on the day. So this next hand that I share is my first ever straddle. I never really like to straddle, especially at home games. I'm like the straddle police, but at One-Eyed Jacks, everyone straddles on the button, so I had to go with that game. It does not pay off. I end up with 9-7 off, and even worse, this guy across the street here goes all in. I don't even know what it was, but I was not paying it. I was not defending my straddle, so that's that. A bad straddle on my part.
Yeah.
So this next hand, we've got
Something
King
new I'm
Queen
doing. This is the first
offsuit,
day I really,
kind of just making
tried it out.
conversation, and they're limping in, so I guess I decide to raise for 7 here.
7.
So we're 3 ways to the flop, and the flop comes with a queen high. Someone bets into me for $10, so you know I'm already in there. I have king queen, no reason not to. Now the turn comes with a low card, so I decide that if he's going to check to me, I'm going to bet, and he does check to me, so I go ahead and bet $10. And I do get both callers, so it's still 3 ways to the river. Now the river comes out another low card, so I think I'm really good here. So I just bet $25. See if anyone's got anything to call. And no one calls, so I take it down. It's been a little while since we had a good hand, and now we're looking down at pocket rockets, aces. All right, let's see how we do here. So it looks like I'm getting raised into already. I think it was going to be $12 here, and the guy on my right calls the $12. So when I see them call, I see 2 people in here. I'm like, I want to keep them around, so let's not ship it. I put in $35. At first, I thought this was a pretty decent bet, and the first guy, he does fold here. But the guy to my right, he does decide to make the call after a little while. And we're going to go heads up to the flop here. Flop does come with a 1 jack on the board, jack high, and he leads into me for $20. So I don't really care about his $20. I re-raise him to 40. Maybe I should have shipped it here. Maybe you guys can let me know if that would have been a better decision. But I did put the 40 in. He snap calls, and we're off to a turn. And to my demise comes another jack, and he go ahead and puts another $20 in, and I'm going all in. I don't know what was in me here. I was like, jam, fuck it, let's see what happens. And he does have the jack. He has queen jack offsuit. This is where I start to regret my pre-flop decision, where I might have had a better option to ship it. The guy across from me was telling me I should have shipped it. Why didn't I ship it? You definitely should have shipped it. And I do agree with him. I just don't know what I was thinking. So I lost my initial 220 buy-in, and I'm going to top off with another 200 here. Yeah, that was a pretty tough loss. So on my next button, I go ahead and put a $5 straddle down. I wasn't feeling tilted or anything, thank God, but I was just trying to play. But I ended up with 9-6 offsuit here. And when it comes around to me, I do go ahead and just check it through for the $5, and we're gonna go 5 ways to the flop. I wish I raised a little bit because it does come 9 high. So when it does check around to me, I do ultimately just put a $15 bet in. Even if no one calls, I'm happy to take the pot down for $25, which is exactly what happens here. I do take it down. So in this next hand, I have Queen 9 off. I have this moment to just limp in, so I take that opportunity. There wasn't much limping going on. Like I said, most buttons were being straddled here. So I will go ahead, and to my surprise, I see a Queen high board, and I go ahead and make a small bet of just $5 here. And I do get 2 callers behind me, which is just fine. We go ahead to the turn, which I believe was just a blank here. So I went ahead and bet again for $10, and I get one caller. The other guy folds. I don't remember what the river was, but he checked over to me, and I decided I'm just going to check it back, and we were good with the pair of queens. So this next button, I do decide to straddle again for the $5, getting a little more comfortable with it now. And this time I have King Jack offsuit. So this time I go ahead and raise it to $15. I do get two callers behind me, which is okay. I'm in position, so let's go over to the flop. The flop does come ace 10 blank, don't remember, and I was feeling good up until this guy decides to jam. And he has jammed a couple times this session, him and the guy on his left too, but I just couldn't find a call here. I thought about it for like a minute or two, and I just decided I just couldn't do it. I don't have it in me. I already took that big L. I don't want to take another one and go home this early, so I do ultimately make the fold here. Buddy on my right and I have been talking about how I should have made that call. That dude's probably bluffing on those jams, but it is what it is. Here I go with ace 3 suited, some hearts, so I go ahead and bet for $7, and I do get 3 callers, so we're going to go 4 ways to the flop, and the flop is in my favor. There's 2 hearts on the board, so I go ahead and lead for another $10. Let's beef it up here, and I do get a couple callers here. Now the turn comes with a second club. There's 2 clubs and 2 hearts on the board with an ace, and I go ahead and check it here. And the guy raises it to $35, so I go ahead and make the call. Given that I'm chasing this flush and I already have an ace, I feel good up until the river comes. The river comes with another club, so I do choose to check it on the river, and he jams. I cannot make this call with ace 3, especially with my flush missed, so I do just make the fold here. It's quick and easy. Nice bet. Feels like I haven't been running that well here, so when I look down at King Jack offsuit in the small blind, I go ahead and make a call here for $7. I feel good about it up until this guy across goes ahead and jams. He jams for about $75, and then the guy to my right calls for another 100. Now I'm looking here, I'm like, I gotta go all in here, don't I? And so I do go ahead and make the all-in jam, and we're looking at pocket sevens, and the other guy's not showing here. King Jack versus pocket sevens. I don't really know what the statistics are behind that, but I did feel like I was behind. Then the flop comes with king high. I feel great. There are no sevens making it up to the river. Gentleman across, he goes ahead and mucks it, and then I scoop the $300 pot back up. Okay, so I'm kind of in the dream spot here. I've got pocket rockets on the button. Looks amazing, but everyone's limping around. It kind of sucks. I still make the raise for $25, and I do get 1 caller. The flop comes with 2 kings on the board. Of course, that's just my luck. My rockets are about to get cracked again. But the guy checks it over to me, and I check it back because I'm just a little scared now. The turn comes out of blank, and we're still looking at another check situation. And lastly, the river comes with an ace. Now, I don't really know how to act here, right? He's checking to me every time, and I got to make a bet here, so I'm just going to jam. We've got $50 in there, and he makes the fold. It's kind of a smart fold. I don't really know if I could have played this any better. I'd love to hear from anybody as what you would do in the scenario when everyone's limping like that. But at least I won this time without a showdown. All right, now I've got pocket sevens, feeling good. I even raise it 7. Why not, right? Then the guy to my left jams. I don't really like these jams, especially under 10s. I'm not really looking forward to continuing, so I do just make the fold, and I'm glad I did. The guy on my left had pocket aces, and I was not good. So I've been getting kind of bored here. Won a couple small pots, but I got pocket 5s here, and I'm contemplating playing it until someone raises, and I decided to just fold it. Okay, I'm looking down at queen 3 offsuit in the small blind, and like I said earlier, if I could just limp in on the small blind, I will, just to play, and that's exactly what I do here. We're going 6 ways to the flop, and I do check in the dark here. To my surprise, the flop comes with a queen 3 and something else that I can't remember. That's okay, though. I go ahead and, just see what happens, and someone bets for $10, and someone calls him, so I make the call as well, given that I got the 2 pair, and comes the turn, and the turn brings in a flush draw. I go ahead and check again here, because again, I'm small blind. I should be playing tight. This isn't really the right place for me. But it checks through actually to the river, and now the river does bring in the flush. And I am concerned here, so I do check again, and here's a $20 raise. So the guy to my right calls, and I think a little bit before I call too. And I do announce my two pair, saying that I don't think he has a flush. And to my surprise, the guy that raised had aces. So aces just got cracked again at this table, and I am looking good. So I'm looking down at 10-9 offsuit, and there's a $5 straddle on the button. So if I can make it to the flop for $5, I'm going to go ahead and make it happen. And that's exactly what we do. We're going 5 ways to the flop here, and the flop comes 7-8-7. And it does check around one time, and I've got this open-ender straight draw, so I'm feeling good about that. Then the turn comes through with the jack. I've got the straight now. That's awesome. So when someone bets into me $15, I'm going to go ahead and make that call here. And I got one more person making that call too, so now we're 3 ways to the river. Now the river is going to be interesting because the lady on my right, she makes a $50 bet because the ace just came at the end. Now we're looking at 7-8-7 jack ace. The only way that I'm losing here is if someone's got a boat. And you know what? I was feeling a little on the fence here. I almost made a raise here, but I actually just made the call. And guess what? She had a 7. Thank God. Lost the minimum. Oh, so I knew not to do anything more. Nice hand. So we are in the small blind, and this time I've got a decent hand. It's Queen 8 suited diamonds, and I'm going to go ahead and make a call for $7 to see the flop. And we're going 4 ways to a flop where I check in the dark, and there is a 8 and a flush draw on board. So the guy to my right raises for $10 in the light, and I call for $10 in the light, and we're going heads up to a turn. And I check here again, and he bets for $20, but there's an 8 on the board, so my flush isn't here yet, but now I've got trips. So we're going to go ahead and make that call for $20, and we're going to go to a river where I do unfortunately blank out. So I just pretend that I'm trying to steal the pot here, and I do raise. He doesn't call because he missed 2, and it would have been nice to see what he had. He just kind of mucked it there, and but I take it down, so that's cool. It was a good miss. On this next hand, we're looking down at Jack 7 suited, and someone raises $13 here, and the middle guy calls, so I call as well, and we're going 3 ways to a flop, and nice enough, I actually get a straight. 8, 9, 10, but there's a flush draw here. So the flop checks through, and we're going over to a turn, which pairs the board with another 8. So there's a $12 bet here, and the middle guy calls, so I call as well. So we're going 3 ways to the river here, and on the river, the flush comes through, unfortunately, so I'm kind of scared here. The aggressor makes a $30 bet, and the middle guy calls here as well, so I kind of have to pay here. I feel like I'm not good, but I go ahead and make the $30 call, and sure enough, my straight is all good. Oh, I guess I am good. So for this next hand, I forgot to hit record before I saw my hand, but I had pocket aces for a 3rd time. So I go ahead and bet 25, and I get 2 callers. We go to a flop that's Queen 6-5, and when it checks to me, I raise for $50, and to my surprise, I get re-raised for another $100. That was weird, but you know what? I only had one move here, and it was to jam. That's exactly what I do. I jam here, and he shows me that he has 2 pair, top 2 pair, Queen 6, but I have some outs here. And sure enough, my outs come. I hit runner 7s for a counterfeit of his 2 pair, and I take this massive pot down. I'm like, holy shit, I think I jammed for an extra 215. So I think we're over like $500 in this pot here. I kind of lost count. But that really made my night, gotta say. Maybe an outlet underneath unplugged or something? Okay, so I started playing a couple more hands here. I got ace king, and I wanted to, play it through, but the flop came pretty shitty, and I didn't want to get married to it, so I just folded away. And then I get pocket kings here, which is pretty nice. I go ahead and I make a raise here for $15, and I do get 2 callers to come to the flop with me. And of course, when you get pocket kings, you always flop an ace. So now I'm playing scared again. I got a lot of money. I don't really want to go home in a loss. I came up profits. So I'm going to go ahead and check this through, and the flop does check through, and the turn doesn't improve me in any way, but when it gets raised $10, I really can't say no here, so I go ahead and make the call for $10, and we're heads up to a river. So I'm just trying to play casual here, see what he's got going on, and he's kind of in the middle of a conversation, and he bets into me for $25, and instead of raising, I just call here, and we do take this pot down with the Cowboys. For my next hand, I've got pocket tens in the small blind, and I'm going to go ahead and make a raise here to $7. And I do get one caller to follow me to the flop here. I check in the dark, and cards come small, nothing higher than my 10, so I'm okay with my check. And she actually checked it back, so we're going to go to the turn here now. And again, nothing to improve me, but I don't think it improves anything. I go ahead and make $10, see where I'm at, and she actually goes ahead and makes the call here for $10. And on the river, I guess I kind of just gave up. I was just ready to kind of leave, so I just check, and she checked it back. I flip over my tens, and they're actually good for once. She had ace queen, hoping for, I guess, an ace or a queen to show up. Didn't happen, so I go ahead and take that down too. Another decent hand here. I got pocket sevens, but honestly, someone re-raised pre-flop after the $5 straddle calls, so I wasn't really feeling it. I felt good about my winnings today, and I was pretty much ready to get out of there. So I stayed for like one more hand, and my dealer was talking about he's actually a rapper. His name's Steady Shakes. If you guys want to check him out on YouTube, he was pretty chill. So a little shout out there for him. And that concludes my night, guys. So originally I was in with 220. I lost it on that really big hand with the aces. That was really on me. I probably shouldn't have lost there. Really should have jammed pre-flop. And then I bought back in for the 200. Played pretty slow. And I guess really that other hand of aces really saved my night. You know, went up in $200 in profit. Just feels amazing. Definitely going to continue the vlog. So if there's any feedback you guys want to give me, anything different you want to see, even if it's just gameplay or how I should strategize, like feel free to tell me all the advice. I'm pretty new to the game. I do love playing it, and I love playing it for the money. So whatever helps me make more money, if you got the tips and tricks, please send it my way. And if not, thanks for tuning in, and peace.